Hey everyone, it's Matt from ZenShop, and today we're doing a technical dive on how we implemented the Discord bot for ZenShop. So this is a little bit different because I'm not going to be looking at the product so much. I'm going to be looking more at the technical aspects of the underpinnings of ZenShop, which I think will be interesting to the technical audience watching the channel. So as you know, ZenShop is a Ruby on Rails backend. I talked about that before in previous videos. And of course, Ruby has many aspects to it which are really good. But I think this Discord bot actually touched on some of the weaknesses and difficulties of a Rails backend. And that is mostly around inter-process communication and doing things in an asynchronous way. But I think I found appropriate ways around it so that the performance of ZenShop is not impacted by integrating a Discord bot in the web process. So I wanted to talk about it here with you today and also get your feedback. If you're a Ruby on Rails developer, then any feedback that you can provide to me will be very useful. Because, of course, I'm not like a super advanced Rails developer. I've only really been doing it for about a year now, but I'm learning as I'm going, and I do find it really interesting. The question that immediately came apparent to me was, how do you create a Discord bot that shares all of the information that your backend does, right? So, of course, all the examples online were JavaScript based. And I actually even started with some of those projects for Discord. I created a JavaScript based Discord bot, booted it up, and got going quite quickly, making commands for the bot. But then the question arrived to me was, well, how do I get the data for our users who are using ZenShop and all the conversations and the information in the bot? And that wasn't clear to me. But then I thought about it a bit more. It actually just made sense to build the bot into the Rails code base. So this would then give me access to all of the data, including the active record models. But I could also do things to the database, like create conversations or update certain tables related to the things that are going on in behind the scenes. And this was kind of needed, really, because if I didn't do this, I'd probably end up having to create some sort of mini API for the bot, which seems a bit unnecessary and overburdensome. Or there might be giving the bot direct database access and creating my own database abstraction again in JavaScript, for example, which also seemed quite cumbersome. So the approach I took was to build the bot in Ruby and integrate it into the Rails backend. So you can see here a little bit of code in front of you, the beginnings of the. Oh, what's this? That's another video. You can see the beginnings of the Ruby bot. And what was interesting about it, this is a feature that I'd recently discovered about Rails, is it's called a Railty. And this gives you hooks into Rails startup process, and it lets you basically create hooks into your Rails. And this is what I needed. I needed some way of creating the Discord bot within the context of Rails. Because of course you've got all the Ruby gems, you've got all the configuration variables that are all set up for you in Rails, and I wanted to share that, right? So I wanted to share the database connection. I wanted to share all the environment variables. It wanted to be kind of whole. So this is what it allowed me to do. Basically, there's a little server hook here, and then inside the server, I fork, which I believe basically allows me to create a child process. So I don't believe it's like a fully on its own process, but it's like basically abstracted away from the main web process, which is good because I don't want the Discord bot to interfere with web requests coming in for Rails. I want it to use its own process if possible. So that's what I believe this does. And yeah, so now that the Ruby bot is created, and you can see here, I've done it in the lib folder. So that's where royalties are saved. You create the royalty here, and then it begins the Discord bot. and then I require it in the bot here, which is this one. And it's super simple. It's just a subclass of a command bot, it sounds really cool. I like the command bot. We fetch some bot tokens and intents, and we get we initialize the app commands. So you can see here, this is probably where the more of the complexity happens. Basically, we get events as well. We know when a heartbeat happens, when the Discord bot gets disconnected, just logging it out so far. We're not doing anything complicating with it. But the app commands are more interesting. So yeah, Discord bots running now. Basically, with this way of using the Railty, we'll start the bot, initialize all its commands, and have it running in its own process. Really good. The only issue that I discovered though was how do you basically do things from the web process with Discord, right? Like, for example, a new message comes in from a customer. I wanted to be able to tell the Discord server that a new message has come in, right? So the bot is connected now on its own process, and it's accepting commands from a user input. So that's what this is. You register your app commands. So for example, I need a setup action or remove. So that's all I've got currently. Just you either set up the Discord bot or you remove it from your server. So the setup command takes in little parameters like an access token, a user token, and it's basically just binds the user account from ZenShop to the bot itself, because the bot needs to know who that user is in Discord, and the channel where to send the messages to. So it gets some information about the access token and the user, and then stores that into an integration record that I've created. So I created a Discord integration table that will store all of the guild IDs and channel names, channel IDs. Um, and it also updates the user's role within ZenShop, which is a role in ZenShop is basically just a union of or a join table of a shop and a user, and then you can store information specific to that role. In this case, a Discord user. And yeah, so that basically gets the information I need to know where to send new messages to, which is the guild ID and the channel name. Um, okay, so the next problem that I had though was how to get messages sent into the Discord server. So what I did is I actually created a job. I think it's called Thread. Yeah, okay, this is it. So again, there's this problem of Rails. You don't want it blocking the web process whenever you do something that takes time. So created a Sidekiq job. So here we've got a Sidekiq job, and we give it some arguments whenever a new message comes in. And we if there was a valid Discord integration for that store, we dispatch this job with that integration. And we know the conversation that the user has begun. And we also know the bot token. So we get that here. So that's all the information I need then to send a message to that Discord server. But what we use is, rather than using the bot, I use these API commands. So this is talking directly with the Discord API. And it's basically just a HTTP request or a REST interface, and it sends those messages to Discord. And I find this is super handy. But we've got two-way communication for Discord. We've got input coming in from the user over the bot, and we've got messages going back to Discord over the API. And this was a very handy way of building an integration with Ruby on Rails and Discord. All the information is synced and available, shares all my code that I needed with the backend in a really convenient way. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. And if you have any questions or enhancements or improvements you think I can do, that would be very helpful. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye.